Once upon a time, in King Vidyadhar's royal court, an artist came to showcase his art.
Is there anyone here who can accept my challenge and take out this lion from the cage without opening it?
Oh, so you're challenging the intelligence of people of Vijayanagar?
And that in front of our king?
King Vidyadhar was proud of his people and his own intelligence. He quickly identified the reality of the lion, which was made of facts.
Fine. Your wax lion is already out of the cage. This is Vijayanagar. Remember, you can't just trick my people and get away with it. Now my people will decide your fate.
So, artist, hope you got your answer.
He doesn't deserve an answer, but punishment.
Yes, he deserves a punishment.
He got what he deserved.
Yes, you are right.
Who put you in this state, my child?
It's done by King Vidyadhar, Guruji. He is too proud of his people and his intelligence. Otherwise, no king would insult an artist like he did, Guruji.
Raja Vidyadhar is my student. But it seems to me that he needs to be taught again. Umesh, Harish, Manish.
Guruji called his 3 favorite disciples to break the king's ego.
As you wish, Guruji. We'll do as you instructed.
All 3 of them disguised themselves and set out to follow their guru's orders. And Harish, he reached a pan shop.
Sir, how much do these betel leaves cost?
200 leaves for 10 coins. They all are fresh. How many do you want?
Keep these 10 coins and just give me 25 leaves for now. Give the rest of the 175 leaves to my colleague when he comes with a letter.
Here.
We have beautiful shawls for you. Tell me, sir, which one would you like to buy?
I would like to buy that shawl.
You have selected one of the best shawls in the shop, sir. You have a keen eye. It's just for 200.
Keep these 25 coins. You can take the rest of the 175 from the betel shop owner. You can send anyone to collect it from him. Just give him my letter and he will give it to you.
The boy went to pan shop owner. He looked at the letter and said,
Yes, that man came here a few minutes ago. Let me finish my lunch, then you come and collect them. I will count and keep 175 of them, okay?
The boy came back and informed the owner. Thinking that he would definitely receive the money, the owner gave the shawl to Harish. But when the boy and the owner reached the pan shop to collect the money, he handed over the betel leaves to them instead of the coins.
What should I do with this?
I don't care. Eat or sell them, it's up to you.
What? But I have come here to collect my coins.
Which coins you are talking about? That man asked me to give him remaining betel leaves, and which I did.
Now, both the shop owners began to fight over the betel leaves and the coins. The matter reached the royal court of the king. After listening to their story, the king realized immediately that someone had not just fooled them, but also raised a question about his people and his own intelligence. He quickly passed an order.
Whoever has tricked our innocent merchants should be immediately arrested and put in jail. That's my order.
King's soldiers started searching for Harish.
Let's search over there.
Now it was Guruji's next disciple, Manish's turn. The shop that Manish went to was not just any such shop. It was the shop of the king's artisan. where there were wood and iron items made by him.
Are you the royal artisan?
The artisan thought Manish was a wealthy man, so he quickly rushed to him.
Come in, sir. I have created a wonderful device just for people like you. If you catch a thief, you can make him wear this pillory and take him to jail. The thief will never be able to escape.
Are you joking with me, sir? How can this wooden device stop a thief who can break even the iron chains? Huh?
I am a royal artisan, sir, and I can prove its effectiveness to you. Just lock the device, sir, and check its strength.
Manish was eagerly waiting for this moment. After the artisan requested it, he locked the device quickly and ran away while taking the key, leaving the artisan stranded. The moment King heard this news, he got angry and furious.
I can't take it anymore. Someone is intentionally making fool out of my people and making fun of me. I will catch him myself.
The king set out in disguise. As he was searching around, he saw a man sitting with a basket of mangoes in a deserted place outside the city's gate. He was none other than the master's third disciple, Umesh.
Why has he set up his shop at the gate of the city? Is he the one who is fooling my people? I have to check. Brother, how much for mangoes?
I'm not sitting here to sell mangoes.
Then,
Are you new over here? Are you unaware there is a group of thugs who are active in the village who are fooling innocent people over here? Even our king is troubled by them.
yes, that is true.
The leader of that group is going to take this route. I will catch him and hand him over to the king.
Do you know their leader?
Oh, yes, of course. He's strong and tall. In fact, very tall. You will get scared of him after seeing him. Come on now, please leave from here.
Brother, I have also come here to see him. I should hide somewhere. Oh.
If you keep doing this, I will never be able to catch him.
Okay.
Okay, you do one thing. You just hide in this mango sack and be silent. Come on, go fast.
The king agreed with Umesh and hid himself in the sack. And Umesh quickly tied the sack. The king waited for some time. But after it was too late, he started shouting.
Open this! Is anyone out there? Get me out of here!
But there was no one to listen to him except the bull. As soon as the soldiers opened the sack, they saw that the king was inside it.
Where is that leader?
The next day, Vidyadhar was shocked to see his Guruji with his disciples and the same artist in the royal court.
Guruji, he's the same person.
Who tied you inside the sack? Yes, these are my students who fooled you and those 3 merchants of yours. And they just did it because I asked them to do it. And this act was necessary just to break your pride, Vidyadhar, so that you never insult an artist again in the pride of your knowledge.
I have understood it. Please forgive me, Guruji.
Vidyadhar learned his lesson and bid farewell to the artist and disciples with gifts.
My beard has grown quite a bit, but why bother going to a barber? Easy peasy. Is anyone there? Anybody there? Come here quickly!
What happened?
The sun rays are falling right on my face. Could you please place a cloth in between? Easy peasy.
What? So this is the reason you were shouting?
Oh, I have seen so many lazy bones, but no one like him, that's for sure. Come on, everyone, let's go back.
Such a lazy head.
Why don't you lend your legs to Mr. Udanka and borrow some money against it? Because these legs are of no use to you anyway. I'm going to serve lunch for us. If you feel like getting up, come and eat some. I have served the food. Do you want to eat it or not?
When you've cooked with so much love, how can I not eat this? Easy peasy. It was delicious.
Now, are you really going to sleep all day or get up and bring some water from the well?
Do you have any idea how hot and humid it is outside? All the wells are completely dry. Easy peasy.
Oh, really? And you're so sure about the water in the wells while looking at the sky all day? What a talent. Anyway, forget about the well. At least, will you bring some water from the pond? Huh?
What did you say? From the pond, huh? Do you have any idea how far the pond is from here? Easy peasy.
Okay. Do whatever you want. Just bring me the water from somewhere. That's it.
You wanted me to bring water from anywhere, right? Here it is.
Oh God, your laziness has no limits.
Huh. Oh no, it's already sunset. Everyone must have arrived.
Are you feeling more energetic now? Tell me, where are you going? To meet those lazy friends of yours? You are almost like a sloth. And you have also made the villagers lazy like you.
Oh really? Do you even know that being lazy is actually an art? How can you understand this? I'm leaving now. Easy peasy.
Hey, Bridge, it's you. Welcome, come in, sit down.
Oh, forget it. Who will make the unnecessary effort to sit down? Easy peasy.
Wow, now you're being really lazy.
Is this what you call laziness? I don't even make my bed after I wake up in the morning. Since I have to sleep in it again at night, then why even bother?
I don't even take out extra plates to eat food. I simply eat from the same utensils the food is cooked in. So I don't have to bother bringing water from the well and washing the dishes. As easy as that. Huh?
But at least you walk to the well every day to bring water for cooking. And here I am avoiding the trek to the well for water by not bathing at all. Try to beat that.
Are you done boasting about your silly lazy habits? At least you people have wells at your houses. I am so lazy that even if my beard catches fire, I'll think 1,000 times before digging a well for water.
Wow, there is really no match for Bridge when it comes to laziness.
Fire! Run!
Save yourself!
Please put down the fire!
Run! Save yourself!
Somebody bring water!
It sounds like there's some chaos in the village.
Oh, just relax. There must be some juggler or a snake charmer passing through. Let's continue with our lazy talks. Easy peasy. Fire! Oh no. Why is it suddenly so hot in here? Hot? But I don't think so.
Fire!
Oh no, the roof is on fire! We should do something! Hey, wait. Why are you running? You are getting worried for no reason. Just wait for a while. It will rain and everything will be all right.
Rains? Right now?
Why not? And even if it doesn't rain, the wind will blow in the opposite direction and put out the fire. You just wait and watch. Easy peasy.
We are lazy, but not that lazy. We gotta run to save our lives.
Run from here! Run! Silly people. Go if you want to leave. I'll take a nap till then. Fire! My beard is on fire! Save me! Somebody save me! My beard is burning! Someone help! Please,
Now,
please
your
put it
beard
out.
has caught fire.
Pour some
It's
water.
time for you to consider digging that well. Easy peasy.
No, not easy peasy. Hurry up! Quick, somebody please
But
bring
the
me water
pond
from
is
the
too far
pond.
away from here. I think we should wait for the rains. Yeah.
How can you people be so lazy? The fire is getting out of control and you want to wait for the rain and wind? Easy peasy. Somebody help me. Oh, I'm safe now. The fire in my beard is gone. You all?
Yes, all of us. If we waited for you lazy bones to act, the entire village would have burned to ashes. That is why we had to put out the fire ourselves.
We are extremely sorry.
Where are you, dear? Are you listening?
Yes, dear. Tell me.
What's this? Where did your beard go?
It's not just the beard. My laziness is gone too.
In Vijayanagar, there once lived a woman named Santoshi who was very talkative. And she loved gossiping.
Normally, I don't bother to find out what happens in the neighborhood. But I can tell you from the smell of yummy sweets that there's something going on at Suresh's place. But who cares? Looks like he hit a jackpot or something. But who cares? I think he's going to get a lot of money. Doesn't matter anymore to me. But who
She
cares?
keeps track of everything that goes on in the village. And still she says, I don't care.
Come back tomorrow, all right? Then I'll tell you the rest.
Don't you ever get tired of gossiping about people all day?
Huh? All I do is talk about people, okay? You make up stories about them. But who cares? Keep making them. And I've been telling you for so long. Tear down this old hut and build something new. But who cares? You won't listen.
Huh? This worn out hut? Yes! Santoshi, come out and see! There's such a rare, wonderful white crow sitting on the hut! Come out fast!
Rare crow? Huh? 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 What kind of a crow is this? I can't even spot the crow on the roof, but if it's rare, it must be exciting news. I better pretend like I can see it. Oh, yes. Absolutely. It's so unique, right?
I'll be right back from the market. You just make sure that no one else finds out about this rare crow.
Ganesh had told Santoshi not to utter a single word to anyone about the crow. But how could Santoshi stay quiet? Off she went to tell her neighbors all about it.
Hey, what's that?
Santoshi, is that you? Who comes in like that?
Oh, forget about how I came. This morning itself, I spotted a very rare crow on our rooftop.
Huh? A rare crow?
But who cares? As soon as I saw it, I came running here to tell you.
What was so rare about it, huh?
Oh, it was a white crow.
A white crow?
It was so huge, you know, as big as a buffalo.
As big as a buffalo?
The crow has such big horns, such a long, long tail.
Huh? A crow with a tail? Really?
Why would I lie to you? I have to go. Listen, don't tell it to anyone.
This is such big news. How can I keep it to myself? I must tell someone. Let me go and share it with Vimlavati. Oh, come on. You are sitting here polishing your bangles when there is something much more exciting happening at Santoshi's house.
What do you mean?
Do you know there was a white crow sitting on her roof today? A white crow! A big one! But I'm sharing this news only with you. Please keep this as a secret, okay?
That means my grandmother was right. Where there is a white crow, there is usually some kind of hidden treasure nearby.
Do you hear, dear?
Every time I'm about to write something, you come and ruin everything.
Yes, we are all about to get ruined. Those two, Santoshi and Ganesh, are about to become millionaire without even lifting a finger.
You and your silly dreams.
It wasn't a dream, it happened for real. Santoshi and Ganesh saw a rare white crow on their roof today, which was very huge. Just like Airavat, Indra's chariot. And you know what they say about white crows? There definitely must be a treasure hidden somewhere in their house.
What? Is that so?
Ah, the rumor has finally reached the right person. Oh, hi Kamlesh. What brings you here today?
Ganesh, I heard there was a strange bird on top of your hut's roof. Is that true?
How do you know that? Don't let anyone else know. And especially, no one from the royal palace should know about it.
Don't you worry, Ganesh. I won't tell anyone about this.
Of course you will.
Kamlesh, who never liked Santoshi and Ganesh and was envious of them, immediately told the royal guard at the palace about the white crow.
Wonderful! Each and everything in this kingdom belongs to our king. I will dig up the treasure and bring it straight to His Majesty.
Excellent.
Commander, sir, what brings you here? Is everything all right?
Yes, but not for long, understand? Once I find the hidden treasure inside your hut, then you and your husband are going to get into trouble for hiding it from His Majesty. Soldiers, prepare to tear down that old hut immediately.
What?
The soldiers started digging around the hut, and the entire village waited to see if they had found any treasure.
Commander, there is nothing here.
What? Kamlesh! Who told you that there was a treasure over here?
Vimlavati did.
My grandmother used to say, wherever there is white crow, there is always some treasure to be found.
I have heard this tale too. Tell me, who saw that white crow?
Satyabhama did.
Not just white. It was as big as a buffalo. And not just horns. It also had a tail. Santoshi was the one who told me about it.
Yes, I did, but I...
But what? Speak now, or we shall imprison you for your life.
No, sir, I apologize. I was just, I never thought the tail would become the location of a treasure. Sorry, sir.
Hey, make sure she's careful with her stories from now on. Otherwise, you will soon be living in a prison. Let's get out of here.
Let's go. What a waste of time.
After that incident, no one ever believed Santoshi's words. Now, children, you might be wondering why Ganesh was so happy after the hut was brought down. Well, thanks to the story of the wonderful white crow. And Santoshi, being a loud mouth, he managed to get his work done for free. And on the empty land, he planted a nice big garden.
I understand, Amma. Now I'll always think twice before I talk about anything.
Oh, you've understood both the story and its lesson. Now time for me to cut down the dry banana leaves on those trees.
If you like this video, subscribe to our channel Murthy Media.